What's up, everyone? Welcome into Dodger Heads, presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Jeff Spiegel. I am thankful that you are here to join us in Thanksgiving week. And I've got a fascinating news report to share with you today. This came from Bob Klapisch of the Newark Star-Ledger, and he tweets out that as if 2020 hadn't delivered enough haymakers, I'm hearing spring training could be delayed by 4 to 6 weeks, meaning opening day in May. Now, Sandy Alderson, the Mets president, shared earlier in this week that he offered the possibility of spring training starting a month late if that delay would allow players and staff to receive the COVID vaccine beforehand. Quote, "It's hard to predict right now, but I think that's the key factor that will drive decisions." It's worth noting as well that there's a collective bargaining agreement that needs to be reached. We know how this went last time with Rob Manfred and the Players Association. Can they get together? But let's talk about this. The possibility of spring training being delayed 4 to 6 weeks, opening day being delayed all the way until May. The implications are pretty simple right off the top. We're talking about a shortened season. Now, we're not talking about the 60 games we just experienced, probably something like 130 to 140 games, which that right there is the most interesting thing to me. Does baseball need 162 games? I mean, 162 games is a lot. And as a fan, if you told me, hey, we're going to chop 20 to 30 games off, I'm not sure I'd be totally disappointed. I'm not sure I'd even really notice. We all know there are stretches of the season that seems to drag on a little bit. And so to go down to 130, 140 seems interesting to me. Of course, the flip side is we're also in a sport that's trying to maximize revenue. And so saying, hey, we're going to chop off 32 to 20 games, something in that range off of the regular season, that seems worrisome, especially because then do they come around and say, so we're going to expand the playoffs again to add revenue there, which has been well documented, I think is a terrible, terrible idea. The flip side to all this is the vaccine. The thought process, it sounds like, is that if they can get a vaccine out, you can get players, you can get staff to receive the vaccine, and then the season is much safer. You're playing 130 to 140 games, yes, but it's also the risk goes down. You're not worried about a Marlins fiasco like we had in 2020, where teams are just missing days and weeks of a season and having to renegotiate a schedule and all that kind of thing. If the vaccine is there, you feel a lot more confident about getting all those games in. But it's also worth noting, if a vaccine is out, it's possible this could mean fans in the stands for some teams across the league. Obviously, some places will be slower to adopt than others, but it's possible that a vaccine would allow fans to start coming into games, which would increase revenue. I would imagine that if you can get 20,000 fans into a stadium and you're actually selling those tickets, some places like the Marlins probably couldn't sell 20,000 tickets, or the Rays, something like that. But would 20,000 tickets at, 70 home games make up for the loss of 22 TV games? I'm guessing it's probably pretty similar when you factor in concessions and all that, parking. I mean, especially the Dodgers. We know they hit you up with parking. We know they hit you up with $12 beers that are watered down, but it will definitely be interesting because I think obviously this is all based on the timeline. This is all speculative, again, from Bob Klapisch of the Newark Star-Ledger, but it's something to keep an eye on as the offseason rolls on. If the vaccine starts to roll out, whether teams and leagues like Major League Baseball would delay the start just a tad in order to get things safer, in order to get things with a lower degree of risk. I'd like to think they care about the safety of players and that kind of thing. I think they just want to protect their revenues. And even if you have to give up 22 games in a 162 game season down to 140, even if you have to give those up in order to be confident that all 140 are going to be played, I think they would do that. So keep an eye on that. Again, the report is that spring training could be delayed 4 to 6 weeks, which would mean opening day would likely be delayed by a similar amount. So we've got collective bargaining. We've got a lot of time between now and March, April, and May. So we'll see what happens, but something to keep an eye on. So with that, I want to say enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy time with friends and family this week. Stay safe. Be smart. Let's hopefully get past all this COVID stuff so we can start enjoying baseball games in person. My name is Jeff Spiegel with DodgerBlue.com. Check us out at DodgerBlue1958 anywhere you consume social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. Check out DodgerBlue.com for all the latest reports on what is going on. And lastly, but not least, please subscribe and please click notifications because we're going to start doing these Dodger Head shorts once a day starting next week. So we appreciate you. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, and we'll see you soon.